Okay, hello my fellow FOAs. So I am going to be reacting to the boys' performance at the Jeonju FIDA World Cup 2025. So I believe this is actually football, soccer match, whichever you usually call it. Obviously, in Mexico we are, in like the Hispanic community usually call it football, right? But for those in the US, right, soccer. But anyways, so I'm gonna be watching their performances. I did try to watch like the full whole thing that I think saw people posting, which was like at least like 14 minutes. But then when I started watching it, there were some like weird like cuts, or not cuts, but like in the video, but like the sound was like pitching at some parts and like sounding like glitching, and I was starting to hurt, and it hurt my ears a little bit when the first part I listened to, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be really annoyed watching that. So I'm like, let me just cue them separately. And then I'm kind of sad because I wanted to watch their, at least also their because I think when I was like scrolling to see if it what made those videos a little bit longer was that it had their introduction. So I don't know, maybe I might like go back and do like in between each one and do like the introduction part at least. Well, but we'll see. But I am going to be watching the performances separately, like that have been cut from that, and I think these are actually in better quality of 1080p. So I'm like, okay, it works out a little bit better. But yeah. But anyways, we're just gonna go ahead and watch for like the third time because I've tried it twice already. Like I started it like 3 times y'all already because I was trying to see if the whole video was like gonna be having those glitches, and it did in the first like 30 seconds, and I was just like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. But I was saying, I'm like, this intro, them running onto the field is wild to me. Like I would have been tired already, and then they had to do the choreo. And then like I was saying, the intro is very interesting as well because they're playing basically the song that they're gonna be starting off with. Then I also said like it's befitting that that they got invited for this, because obviously in their MV for Rendezvous they run into a stadium. So I'm like, oh, like, you know, that connection with each other makes sense. The spotlight right on them. I was saying I like this new like take on their outfits now, because like it's still a play on the school uniform that they've been doing constantly, but they're wearing denim jeans, like they're wearing denim like jeans instead of like the slacks, and they're wearing just like, you know, the same button up but with like a cardigan, but it's still like, I'm assuming that has their logo on it maybe, but you know, it's a little different take to what they've been doing previously. Also, I was gonna say, is it just me, or does I know I'm pausing a lot. Is it just me, or does Juwon's hair look more blonde here? I don't know if it's because the lights are like flashing on him and it's like making it look blonde, or is it like not gonna be peachy orangey anymore? I was like, also they got grass stains on their butts. Like I was like, did not mean to. I was not like looking there, but like when they got up, I was just like wondering, like, is this like a real grass field? There's like a turf field, and sure enough, it's real grass. And I'm like, no, I'm like, real grass. You know how hard grass stains are to get out of denim, y'all? I was like, no. And like first the wet pants, now this. Like, no. You can hear like the echo in the stadium. Oh, Schreiber got a haircut too, a little bit. Okay, the only thing I would say though, I think the camera's having trouble focusing, like making sure they're like, because like it looks like it's blurry when when they start shooting them, and then it gets like better. But like it's not like the worst thing, you know? I just happened to notice it. Oh! They kind of changed it up because they're doing hand mics too. Okay, I like how they are shooting it from like this kind of angle and then like, okay. Okay, you kind of missed Jewel in there a little bit. Oh, it got blurry there. That was not the... I think it's just the screen recording, but it's okay. Why does he keep doing that? I'm like, stop. You see what I mean? Like, it's like having trouble like focus. The camera is having trouble like focusing. Like it goes out of focus. I don't know if it's also because of like the bright lights in the background. Like, oh baby, I just say it's too be late. Oh, okay. Okay, it's not the worst, but like, why are hold me back, lost in a dream and falling past. Don't get no. The same. We are who we are, who we are. Oh, they say give Daisuke a little bit of screen time. Okay, what I'm gonna say is, like I said, it's not the worst camera work I've seen. There's been a whole lot worse, and you know me, I immediately go off at the end when those happen. The only thing is that, like, I think they were trying, or they were instead of cutting to so many people, like they stayed on someone really, like for Han's part, like they stayed on him for a long time, so they ended up missing someone else who was doing their part. And y'all know how I feel about just whenever it's someone else's part, they should be filming that part that person is like that. The person who's singing at the moment, they should be filming that and not someone else. But yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna say for that, because like then and like the camera, obviously the camera was having trouble focusing, but I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and say that maybe this camera work, like camera person, is not like, this is probably like maybe their first time like filming like a performance. Maybe they don't have like experience in that, and more so because I don't know if they hired like a team specifically to like just to record the performances, or if it's just the same like camera team that usually shoots like the game and is like, you know, doing so many cuts and like takes to like and follow, you know what I mean? If that's because it's performance camera work and like a match game like sport camera work is very different, I would say. Like obviously they do cut a lot to like close-ups and all that, but they are different in that like they're following, like it's someone like always moving on that because it's like a sport, so like, you know, you're trying to catch as much as you can, and you're just doing lots of cuts and cuts and like that when you're following someone who's like getting closer to the goal, is what I think. So I'm just gonna give them a bit of a doubt for that, but it's not the worst, you know. There's been way worse where I was like fuming at the end. But I'm gonna see if I can like queue up that part that I was telling you that I want to watch them do the like their ments. And also I did forget to mention at the beginning of this that I was like, oh, I'm really excited that they're doing Butterfly too, because like I wouldn't have thought that they would do that, because they've only ever done it for like their fan sign events, and then obviously for their fan con, and then obviously they did it for their showcase, but I've never seen them like do like a performance version of it outside of also for the My K Festa. So that was the first time, right? But we haven't seen them do it since. So like, oh, I'm like, this is interesting that maybe they needed another song and they're just like, let's do that to like leeway into the universe. But hold on. You hear a chance.
월드컵이 생긴 지 벌써 10년이나 됐다고 해요. 너무너무 대단하죠? 네, 이렇게 상상으로만 가능할 것
아,
같은 그런 축구 대회가 이렇게 현실이 되니까 되게 남다르기도 하고 또 세계는 스포츠로 자리 잡은 것 같아서
It's a little
있습니다.
glitchy.
그리고 오늘 하루가 더 특별한 이유가 있는데요. 바로 저희 멤버 한이의 생일이거든요.
Oh yeah, Han's birthday.
어때요, 한이 씨?
생일 축하합니다.
무대를 하게 되니까 더 특별한 날이 된 것 같고 기분이 너무 좋은 것 같습니다. 그러면 한이 형의 생일과 그리고 드론 축구 10주년의 그런 기념하면서 저희 다 같이 박수 한번 쳐볼까요? 크게 더 크게. 네, 멋진 공연이 아주 많이 남아 있는 만큼 안전이 제일 중요합니다. 맞습니다. 안전한 거 꼭 지켜서 모두가 행복한 하루가 되길 약속해요.
아, 귀여워.
그럼 우리 다음 곡 하겠습니다.
Oh, the background's cute. Oh, this is supposed to be our first time seeing it without Chen being there, you know, for this performance. So I'm wondering. 귀여워. 내게 바라는 것 늘 적응할 수 없어. 햇살이 너에게 느끼고 있어. 저기 구름 위로 내가 내 보내고 있어. 같이 가볼래? Yeah. Ooh. Okay, so they gave it to Jungwoo. Okay. Like a butterfly. Be there. 시간 속에 당연. 너는 someone 나. 이거 바랄게. 귀여워. Bye. Hey. I'm your strong friend. 완전히 신나고 어디서 거리기 되고 넌 함께 Yay! We're getting more of Shaiba too. 같이 가볼래? Yeah. 우리가 깨라면 너를 놀라지 않아. Like a butterfly. 놀라 I'll be there. 시간 속에 당해. 너는 someone 너와 나. Like a butterfly. Like a butterfly. I think they're trying to give like more screen time to like some of the members that they didn't get, so I'm like, I appreciate that at least. But you see what I mean? Like it gets like hazy. I think it's probably because it's focusing on the background lights, maybe. Like a butterfly, fly, butterfly. We go high, we go high. I'll be there, high, butterfly. We go high, we go high. Yeah. Okay, so I'm assuming they gave a lot of the, if not most of Cheon's lines from this to Jungwoo, if I'm not mistaken. For this song particularly, I don't really know which parts are Cheon's because I haven't seen them perform the song so many times, right? I've literally seen all of them do Rendezvous like probably like 20 plus times at this part. Same with the Universe, I've seen them do it like maybe like a good 15 times at this point, so like I kind of already know whose parts is each whose part is each person's in that. But for this one, I don't know specifically. But I'm assuming Jungkook got a lot of the parts for it, which I'm like, yes, that's great that he got a little bit more lines. Like I said, I do see what they're trying to do with the camera work, that they're trying to like give more screen time to the other members that don't have as much lines and didn't get captured a lot. But I think for sure, I think this one was a little bit, this performance was a little bit better than the Rendezvous, because you know they were like staying on one member way after their part had already happened and not getting whoever was singing next. But this one they actually, you know, were giving, they weren't staying on the member who had just sung, they were kind of giving screen time to other members that hadn't gotten screen time. But okay, I think there might be another like ment, so let me go ahead and look for, I'm gonna be going back and forth a lot, y'all, I'm sorry. They're just like kind of all trying to he's like, wait, where am I going?
이제 저희가 아홉으로 데뷔를 하고 나서 처음으로 전주에 오는데요. 이제 오는 길에 보다 보니까 전주가 되게 따뜻한 도시인 것 같더라고요.
I was gonna say, like, it's probably so hot because it's like outdoors, even though it is nighttime, but all these lights too, and they're wearing, like, I'm pretty sure they're wearing long sleeve button-ups. It's not short sleeve, which I would prefer they wear short sleeve, but they're probably wearing long sleeve. And this cardigan, like, it is hot. They're sweating.
저도 봤는데 뭔가 거리가 되게 예술 작품 같고 되게 이쁜 것 같습니다. 네, 다음에 좀 시간 널널하게 와서 전주의 아름다움을 꼭 느껴보고 싶어요.
I think they're promoting
너무 좋아하거든요. 저희 아홉이 다 같이
Stephen, what are you doing? What are you doing?
또 있었으면 좋겠어요.
I think they're promoting Jeonju, right? He's like, I forgot my line. He's like, what was it again? What was my line? Kyo. It's our last song. Woo! I love that they all got to like everyone got to like share a little bit tidbit or whatever for this, like to talk about the area, because like I think I saw on the thing that they were on the banner on the bottom it said the like the I think agriculture or something like that at the bottom of it. So I'm like, oh, they're probably promoting since they are a sponsor for the area that they're in for this as well, like they're kind of giving a like, oh yeah, like we went to go visit, or when we were driving in we kind of saw like the area, or kind of saw like the field, like, you know, like agriculture or whatever they want to talk about in the area to like promote it. But okay, going back to the last stage.
Yeah.
Sweet fantasy. 우리 좀 만나고 더 세속의 magic. 눈에 빛이 터지잖아. I can't wait it, I can't wait it. 빨간 신간 tingkon가. Yeah, they got grass stains on their knees too. I'm like. 아 귀여워. I like how they shot that. Yeah, you can see the camera guy right there. We fall, we rise. You know what it is probably? Now that we've seen him there, maybe they didn't want to be like, if the other person was like all the way on the other end, maybe they didn't want to be running like out of breath, you know, trying to do the camera work. I think it's only one person doing the floor, and then one doing like whatever drone or like whatever area shot they're doing like that. Because I wouldn't want to run either, to be honest with y'all. Like, I know it is your job, but like, I don't think you would make it in time for that part, in that like split second of when it switches between the person. Cool. The next step, you're gonna freak out, gonna 되는 순간. No way, maybe not there, cause like they were right next to each other, so like. We fall, we rise. Yeah, they are like dripping sweat. It is hot, I'm sure. Like, lights me up. So don't let it rainbow puffs. Then like they're doing this continuously, so like there's like no one to like, you know, they can't blot the oil off, but like, oh my god, or the sweat. It's like, you see what I mean? Like it gets like hazy or like foggy or like, I think it's the lights in the background doing that. Oh, but they got to the part like, why are we shooting feet? Okay. The other one did hands, we're doing feet here, I guess. Okay. Sweet fantasy. We're not gonna get, okay, I was just about to say, we're gonna give us that back, like far back of a shot. That screen though at the end, but anyways, overall thoughts, like I said, not the worst camera work. Like it's iffy here and there, but like I said, there's been worse camera works that I've seen, like so many worse camera works that I've seen because I've basically watched like every single stage, every single performance that the boys have done thus far. But yeah, but I mean, like I said, like I think since there's like one person doing the floor work, like doing the camera work on the like actual floor, there's like a lot of cutting back and forth between like the wide camera, which I don't know if they're using like a rig to like capture it, or they're using like a drone. I'm gonna go with a drone maybe, because like it's easier to do that than like have a whole rig over the whole thing, right? But yeah, but there's some parts where like obviously, like I said, if one member's on the other side, like far, like on the other complete opposite, they can't run that quickly. That's why it probably would be better if they had like two people on the floor. But that part where it was actually like Schweibel and Juwon like right next to each other, I have no excuse. There's no excuse for that. Like they're right next to each other. It wouldn't kill you just to like go straight next to Schweibel. So like end up cutting off like screen time for Schweibel. But I think probably the best camera work for these three is probably the butterfly one. And yeah, I think that was probably the best because like I said, I think it did a good job of still getting like members more screen time equally. But they did, obviously for this one, like they just were trying to, like, I don't know what they were doing with like the focusing of like which member they were on. I don't know if they just didn't want to, you know, move around or whatever, or I don't know. But that, and like I said, like, and the other thing was just like, I think the lights were either too bright or something, that it kept like making them look hazy or like foggy or like out of focus, and then like it would focus, it would like, you would see it gradually focus into the member. So I don't know if that's just because of the light in the background, kind of, because that kind of also does play a part in the background. That always happens with my camera too. I don't know, some reason, like sometimes whenever like I'll like duck all of a sudden or like move around, sometimes like it'll just like completely get out of focus. So I think that's probably what it was, either the lighting or like something like that. Like since there's too many people like running around, walking around around that person, that it just couldn't like capture, and then like all of a sudden like, oh, then it would focus. But yeah, other than that, like I think they did a great job as always, per the usual. Like I said, that was the first time we saw Butterfly without Cha-eun being performed, and I think they did a great job with who they gave the lines to, because like obviously it's always interesting how it's always hard whenever you're trying to like rework who gets what lines, if a member's on like a hiatus, or they're just like missing a member for some reason, for whatever reason. So they probably had to go over it a lot and like practice it in advance, because they probably were like, okay, you guys are doing 3 songs and we have to decide which one it is. And I don't know if necessarily it for this, because I didn't mention it for the other one, for the CN Festa performance, that they I'm pretty sure that they gave Cha-eun's parts to like position, like relatively position wise, and not necessarily like vocal wise or like stuff like that, because it made sense with who was close to that part at the time to take the spot, and not having the members like be someone in the back row having to like run to like their spot after doing his part. So I don't know if that was necessarily the same thing for butterfly or not, but I think they still did a great job giving whoever got the lines. Like I said, I don't really know exactly like what Chun's parts like for that song, just because I haven't seen so many performances of it as much as the other Rendezvous and the Universe. But like I said, either way, they did really great. Like for the short time that they probably had to like prepare as well, because like I said, like no one was expecting Chun to go on hiatus or anything like that, or like to him to get sick. Which like I said, like I am hoping he's taking this time to recuperate and that he's doing well. But yeah, like I said, like it's definitely also a little bit of stress for the other members, because like we're kind of having to figure out who's like take over those parts for the meantime. But anyways, like I said, I enjoyed it. There were, like I said, some parts were iffy on the camera work, but like I said, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt as well, because like I said, it might have been that the camera person isn't someone who's like used to filming like stages. We don't know that. Like he might have been like someone that actually does and films the the shots of like the camera for the sport. It's like the match itself. So like that's always kind of different as like to like a stage wise, I would say. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I shall see you in the next one.